Hi, Christie. Thanks for joining us for our Learn from Leadership for our Q2 Learning and Development newsletter. Could you start off by introducing yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me to do this. I'm Christie Lenneville. I'm the Vice President of User Experience at GitLab, and I'm located in San Antonio, Texas.
So could you tell us a little bit about what your career journey has looked like so far?
It's a pretty long career. So at this point, we're looking at about 22 years. And it's spanned a really broad variety of things. My undergraduate degree is in psychology. This was back before user experience was really a thing. And so graduating with that degree, I went into human resources for a while. And that was actually my entree into tech. And what made me realize, oh, I really enjoy technology. And what got me into doing my first UX related work was website design. But I've done a lot of different things. I've worked in recruiting and operations and marketing and user experience. And my graduate degree is actually in software engineering.
Oh, awesome. That's so cool. Can you tell us what is the best professional development resource that you have utilized in the past year, whether that's a book you've read, a podcast you've listened to, an article? What have you found to be helpful this year in the past year?
That's a great question. I'm going to have to say this one because I have been promoting it to people internally for the last 2 weeks because I enjoyed it so much. And I actually watched it twice, which is the executive leadership course on LinkedIn Learning. I found it unbelievably useful. It's geared towards C-levels, but frankly, and I told my team this, I think it's useful to everyone. Every leader can get something out of it. And then individual contributors get a sense of what they should be expecting from their executive leaders. And I was truly inspired by thinking about my own leadership style, the things I'm doing well, things that I could be doing better. It was a really, really great course.
I'm so glad that you've found value in LinkedIn Learning since we just launched it a couple months ago internally. So that's awesome.
I have used it so much.
Awesome. Good. So kind of off of that, what's your preferred learning style? Do you prefer to do things visually, like pictures, images, auditory, you prefer to listen, kinesthetic, you like to actually try things out, or by reading and writing?
I guess I would say I'm a good combination between visual and reading and writing. I am not a good auditory learner. Watching videos is real hard for me. When I can see something written, I can read about it, I can look at a diagram. That's when I really get the content.
Perfect. And then why do you think learning is important?
Oh my gosh. One, because I know there is no point at which I'm going to know everything that I need to know. One, because there's just so much out there. Two, because we work in an industry where things are changing all the time. So I did front end web development 15 years ago, and it is an utterly different world today from what it was back then. I can't rest on what I knew then to get me where I need to be now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've heard the quote, the more you know, the less you know. And I think that's so true.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So is there one thing that you wish you would have learned sooner in your career?
Yeah, I think the thing I wish I would have learned sooner is to always feel okay with asking questions. Don't take things at face value unless you truly believe that you have really understood what the other person is communicating to you. Because what is in our heads is not always what comes out of our mouths. And when we make assumptions based on what we hear, we can run off in some really bad directions. So that could be personally. Somebody could say something to you, you could take it very personally. It's not what they meant. Whereas if you just ask them a question like, I hear you saying this, is that what you meant? And gives them a chance to say, oh no, that's not what I meant. Oh, great. Now we have an opportunity to really have a meaningful conversation around something. Also, professionally, it can spin you off in a bad direction. So someone asks you, makes a request of you, and you go, yeah, got it. I don't want to ask any questions because I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
I'm off. I'm going to go work on this project. And you come back and they go, that's not what I wanted. And if you just asked a few more questions, you would have figured that out.
Yes, totally. Completely agree. Asking questions is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So who would you say is your role model and why?
That's a tough one. I would say that I don't have a specific role model. Instead, what I found is I learn from everyone all the time. I learn from other leaders. Learn from the people who work on my team. I learn from the individual contributors on my team all the time. They bring things to the table that I just hadn't expected, didn't have access to. They come up with amazing ideas that I never would have considered myself. And then personally, I learn from my kids every day. So I think every relationship we have is an opportunity to learn something from someone else. So
yeah,
not one person, it's kind of broadly everyone.
I love that. So could you name a person that has had a tremendous impact on you as a leader? Maybe someone who was a mentor to you. Why and how did this person impact your life?
Yeah, I had a really wonderful manager much earlier in my career. This was back when I was a technical writer, so this was much, much earlier in my career. And she really helped me. She and I have very different personalities, but in a really good complementary way. And she is one of my dearest friends today. Something that sticks out that she told me that I really took to heart, because this is something I was really bad at. She very kindly and compassionately said to me, Christie, sometimes it's okay to let things fail. And I went, what? No, that's my job, is to make everything perfect and successful. And she said, no, when you go out of your way to force things to be successful, you cover up problems. Sometimes it's more important to let things play out so that you can see what the real problems are and then address those. And I can tell you right now, it blew my mind and it utterly changed my leadership style. It took me away from feeling like it was my responsibility to make sure that my team did everything perfectly, to realizing that my role is to empower people, to let them learn, to let them have ideas. And sometimes those ideas are going to be amazing and other times they're not. But if we learn something from it, that's what's important.
Yeah. Even as an individual contributor, I love that advice. That's awesome. So what are you doing to ensure you continue to grow and develop as a leader?
Yeah, I'm doing things all the time. I read a lot. I like to read a lot of articles because they're short and easy to consume. I especially like Nielsen Norman has amazing blog posts that they put out very frequently. I do read books as well. And then I've been using a lot of LinkedIn Learning lately. A lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Is there anything else you would like to tell us about leadership at GitLab?
Yeah, GitLab is a really inspiring place to be a leader. One, we are working on a really cool product. It changes people's daily work lives. And how often do you get the opportunity to work on something that has so much impact? The other thing is, I don't think I've ever worked at a company where broadly everyone was so, think of how I want to say this, just such good people who are trying to do the right things, who want to do it in ways that are compassionate and collaborative. People don't pull rank. We are all just truly trying to help each other. And I think in the end, that makes, for one, a better product. And then two, it makes you want to come to work every day and learn from people. So man, I love not just my team, but the teams I get to work with every day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Cool. Well, those are all the questions I had for you today. Thank you so much for joining us on this Q2 Learn from Leadership for our Learning and Development newsletter. Thanks so much.
It's been my pleasure.